This episode of Indie Mogul is brought to you by Monday.com.
As a producer, you want to give everyone the tools that they need so that way you're on set and like there's no fires. We didn't forget anything.
There's always some fire. I don't care how big your budget is. There's always some fire. What's going on, Indie Mugglers? Today I'm here with my buddy Moses Israel. Moses is a fantastic producer that's just had his second feature go to Sundance. He's produced videos for people like Diplo, Jaden Smith, Wiz Khalifa, a lot of the big artists out there. And today we're going to talk about what it actually takes to produce a video or a film from start to finish all the way up until that shooting day. So you've got a script, you've got an idea, you want to start making it, but you don't know where to start. This video is for you. So today, Moses, the edit team has actually pulled out 3 scenes from a movie. Now, I don't know what movie it is. I haven't seen it. Neither of us have seen it here.
Okay.
But we're going to watch that first scene. We're going to pretend as if that scene is the short film. And we're going to walk through how to produce it. And then at the very last minute, we're going to add a second scene. And all of a sudden, we're going to make the movie those 2 scenes and see what changes in the production schedule.
Okay.
And then finally, we're going to add a third scene. And all of a sudden, the movie is going to be all 3. And we're going to see how it actually changes the actual prep for the movie and how to put it together.
All right. Sounds pretty common.
The director is uncompromising. So everything that you see in this film here, we have to prepare for. There's no going to the director and being like, sorry, we can't make this scene happen because you don't, no. You got to pull it together, and you got to pull it together in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a challenge.
Let's do this. Roll the first clip.
Oh,
All right.
Okay.
We got La La Land. This is the movie we're watching here.
Damon Chazelle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Ryan Gosling, Emma Stone.
Another
Emma
short
Stone
film.
won an Academy Award. Did Ryan Gosling? He hasn't won one yet, I don't believe, but he's... All right. Okay, so we have our location.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like we're like in a upscale restaurant. There's a nice grand piano.
Some beautiful, slick wardrobe.
Nice soft lighting.
Mm-hmm.
And in the restaurant, there's already like 30 to 50 people sitting down.
Nice, beautiful look. That looks like anamorphic lenses. Isn't
does.
that bokeh?
Anamorphic
Got
lenses.
some anamorphic lenses
Here-
there.
Here's our wide shot of the restaurant. So there's a lot of art here, right? There's a lot of lighting, a lot of G&E stuff here. Nice camera movement. Look at that lighting cue.
Okay, all right.
Our gaffer's gonna need to have a DMX thing going.
The actor needs to know how to play the piano.
Watch
I don't think they teach that in the Mickey Mouse Club.
They do. So far, like, this could be in a stage. It could be on location in a restaurant.
Not bad.
It's not bad.
Not bad.
This is manageable 2 weeks out for
Yeah,
sure.
hold on. It's not over.
Emma Stone,
Okay.
there she is. Ooh, J.K.
Yeah.
Simmons, Academy Award winner as well.
Of course.
Ooh, burn.
For the most part, 1 location, 3 characters.
Pretty solid.
Yeah.
I think this is a manageable thing for 2 weeks out. The very first thing is I would probably read through the script and break this down in terms of like a day out of days or like a strip board. Basically get like a preliminary shooting schedule. I think this scene looks like it was probably 3 to 5 pages long. So it looks like we could probably knock all this out in a 1-day shoot because the dialogue is very low. It's a lot of action going on, right?
Okay.
It's a 1-day shoot.
So let's draw this out. So,
Okay, I want to hold a production meeting
yeah.
with all our key department heads. So that's the very first thing. So our cinematographer, we have our first AD, our producers, our directors, production designer, costumes. I'd like to have our costumer there, our wardrobe stylist. We can bring them in, introduce them to make sure that they all read the material. We show them the schedule. The first AD is running through what the shooting day is going to look like. For example, in this clip, it starts off by pushing in on Ryan Gosling playing the piano. So maybe our first AD is saying that's something we're going to shoot last. So in terms of schedule, we're communicating this to everybody. So maybe we do all the dialogue stuff in the first 6 hours of the day before lunch.
Yeah.
Then we break for lunch, and then we come back from lunch. And then all we have to focus is him playing the piano with the lighting cue that comes in. For the indie people out there that don't know, the protocol is you have to feed your crew every 6 hours. I would say this would be like a 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. kind of a shoot.
Really? So during the day, you'd shoot this?
Yeah, because it looks like if it's all interior, you can black out the windows. You can make this controlled environment in terms of lighting. Only because like you don't want to be shooting 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. and like you're really messing with people's schedules. It becomes an issue just of like people's faces, especially your actors, look like they're tired. Day 3, let's go scout this place.
Yeah.
So we're bringing all these key department heads so that way art department can see the space. Your DP can see the space. In your DP, you're probably bringing your gaffer and your key grip. It's just so important for them to know
what the space looks like and what they're working with in terms of what tools they should bring.
Exactly, because right after this scout, you know, the DP and the key grip and the gaffer, they're probably putting together a floor plan of their lighting setups, right?
Yeah.
A lot of this looks like it was a 360 lighting, so it sounds like if we have a prep day for lighting, They're pre-rigging everything so that way we can just shoot 360 and then everything's controlled.
What is the producer actually thinking of when you're on that scout?
5 main things: parking, a G&E truck, we have a camera truck, maybe art department has a cargo van.
Also, there's just a ton of vehicles because all the crew and your cast is going to show up at this place.
So if you're filming on location, maybe there's like a private lot somewhere that you can rent out for the day, that kind of a thing. Huge thing. You don't want to figure this out on the day of the shoot. Number 2, staging for all your departments. On the day of the shoot, you don't want crew members assuming they can put their stuff down in a certain spot, but like if you're shooting in that area, it's not camera safe. In the clip we just watched, it's like almost like a 360 thing, so we want to put it behind a wall, somewhere we're not going to see. But when it comes to staging, you want to think about working camera department, set up their camera carts, their video village, that whole deal, right? They're gonna need their own space. You got G&E. They got a bunch of G&E carts, lighting carts, a lot of grip carts. So we need to find a space. Maybe that's outside near the grip truck to make it easy for them. Whatever it is, let's just make sure we have a plan. When it comes to hair, makeup, and wardrobe, you want to put them somewhere interior where there's air conditioning. Definitely don't want them outside under a pop-up tent kind of sweating, only because...
You don't want Emma Stone sitting outside sweating like crazy and you're trying to actually just do makeup. So we've got parking, we've got staging. What's next?
Restrooms. You want to figure out where your restrooms are, right? Hypothetically, if you're filming in the desert or somewhere super far away, you don't have restrooms, so you're gonna need to like rent out portal potties or something. You don't want to figure it out on the day of the shoot of like, what if this restaurant has like only 2 working restrooms? And that's gonna be an issue for 30 cast members and another 30 crew members. And for this clip, we're probably getting 2 or 3 portal potties with a hand washing station. We're putting them outside near the like grip trucks, somewhere outside where it's like convenient to just go out, use the restroom, come back in. Number 4, I want to talk about crafty and lunch. This kind of ties into staging, right? You need to have an area where you're going to stage your crafty, probably not by the restrooms.
As far as the actual crafty and catering goes, where would you put that in a location like?
Probably crafty. I'd keep that in the space, like maybe behind a wall or somewhere where it's close.
Like behind the bar or something like that?
Behind the bar, there's like a coffee station, crafty. And then maybe lunch, it's probably gonna be outside in the parking lot, like under the pop-up tents. The last thing, safety is a big thing that I always have. Like if you can afford a set medic, which if you're going to Indy, like...
It's hard to do, we
just
get it.
Get a first aid kit, know where the nearest hospital is, and then have like all the emergency numbers on standby. If you have this stuff ahead of time, in the event of an emergency, you don't need to think, you already know.
I know a big one too is if you're in the desert or in the forest, make sure you know where the nearest cell service is too.
Yeah.
So safety-wise, what are you actually seeing in this thing? There's not too much going on here, right?
Not too much. I'm noticing that at the bar, there's a lot of glassware, right? There's a lot of glass. Now, maybe then that's a safety thing that we'll address in the safety meeting at the top of the first day of shooting is, hey, at this bar, there's a lot of glassware. Everyone be cautious coming into this area. I would even have art department post signs.
Don't touch the glass.
Don't touch the glass, hot set, don't. Just letting everybody know that like, hey, you're getting into a safety issue here. So now that we've seen the space, we've had our production meeting, I want the first AD to finalize their schedule.
Yeah, and this is which shots are they doing in what order?
Exactly. So this is letting us know exactly how the day is gonna run. So that way we can give this to all our key crew members, and then they can start booking the crew they need.
After we've got our shooting schedule set, what are we doing next?
It's finalizing casting and crewing, meaning that when it comes to crew, art department probably has people working under them, G&E has people working under them,
camera department has
camera department, glam, all of the people that aren't key department heads, we can now start doing a hard hold on them where we can send them deal memos, kind of lock everybody in. And then there's casting. I'm gonna have casting start sending me pictures of all the extras. They look like there's 30 extras in that dinner scene. So I want them to send me stills so that way our director can picture pick people. As soon as casting and crewing is done, basically we're looking at pickups and returns for all our gear. Art department, which vendors do you want me to set up? Camera department, G&E department, send me whatever is the wish list so that way we can start booking it. So for a shoot like this, you know, we need anamorphic lenses, so camera team is probably sending me a couple vendors that we can start pricing out camera gear for.
Yeah. So now we're at the beginning of week 2.
Beginning of week 2, we're most likely, I'd love to have another production meeting. Location is locked.
Yeah.
We've started pulling the permit. You only really need like 3 or 4 days in advance, so we're probably pulling our permit. More importantly, we're having wardrobe approvals, which means our main 3 actors are getting fitted for wardrobe.
And this is time that also each department is doing all of their rehearsals and prep too.
Yes.
So actors and directors are getting together. They're actually going to be doing rehearsals at this point. Camera's doing camera tests. G&E is doing, they're getting their package together.
Getting their package together, yep. Art department, they're probably picking up all of the set dressing, set decorations,
so in
any
this
props.
case, they're getting that piano.
They're getting that piano, yeah.
Their
Their
little
lead man.
table lamps inside of the restaurant.
The little practical lamps, yeah. Everything that you saw in the restaurant there in terms of set deck. And then there's also generators and distribution. Like our gaffer needs to make sure that we have a generator with enough amps and wattage so that way they can power everything that needs to be powered for the scene. Our sound team is probably picking up batteries. That's...
Damn. Okay.
Our sound team is making sure that they have everything that they need, making sure that their boom is working, their sound mixer is up to par.
On production side, are there any tools that you have to prep too? Any supplies that you need?
We're talking about walkie-talkies, director chairs, tables, regular chairs, coolers, pop-up tents, wardrobe racks, maybe a crafty cart, and working printer on set. We're making sure we have a bunch of paper so that way on the day of the shoot, if we need to print any other stuff or prep anything, we have it all there. We've pretty much outlined kind of how this 2 weeks would run before the shoot. This is just a one scene, one location, super simple. We had 2 weeks out to prep for it.
Problem though is I don't think you get a lot of scripts for one location, one scene, simple two people talking, right? That's not most movies. So to make it a little bit more difficult, we're gonna throw in a second scene here. I haven't seen this either. You ready?
I'm ready.
New film, let's go.
Oh, okay. So we have
what are we seeing?
We're seeing a location. We have a huge backyard. We have this party with like a live band. And it's got like 80s vibes going. So this is a band, full instruments.
Okay.
There's like a little stage. This is a pool party with like 50 extras, right?
Ton of extras.
Ton of extras. Some of them are in the pool. Not bad. And there's people in the pool. We're going to need a set medic for that.
You need a set medic for the
set
pool.
Medics, and you know, somebody swallows too much water, they need to...
Or someone slips or something like that.
Exactly. Sure, hits their head. I would say, okay, director, you're pushing it, but maybe we can pull this off. And I say, hey, director, we're going to need to use those same extras because we can't pull this off. And the director's going to be like, yeah, great. They're in the background, out of focus. It's going to work.
Sure.
Guy jumping into a pool.
Okay.
Oh.
So, when you look at this schedule, I don't want to repeat things, but what do you have to change in terms of the production of this?
Oh. Just recapping, new location, same amount of extras, pool party wardrobe. We have a band, so they have instruments, which is part of art. The lighting looks really nice and backlit, so they probably have a condor with a light. Yeah. So let's say this is now a 2-day shoot. So what I'm gonna adjust that prelim to say Monday we shoot the interior dining scene, Tuesday, we're shooting the pool scene. In our pre-production meeting, our first AD now has to run through 2 days of shooting, which means that during this time, if we have soft holds on our key department heads, we now have to soft hold the band because the band has speaking roles. We have to location scout both locations. Okay, parking for everybody. So this looks like a residence. Yeah. All our trucks are gonna be parked at the residence, but when it comes to parking for cast and crew, there's like 30 or 40 extras here. And then you have 30 or 40 crew members.
So where do you park that many cars? Because I've seen these kinds of houses. These are Hollywood Hills houses. Super narrow road that goes up in the hills. Impossible to park. How do you figure this out?
We're going to need to get a parking lot, and we're going to need to shuttle people. So we probably have 2 or 3 shuttle passenger vans.
Yeah.
A PA is driving those vans, and we have a spot where everybody parks. Casting department is starting the casting for all these extras. So kind of what I was saying is, maybe we recycle a lot of these extras, but you got to remember in that restaurant, it looked like an older crowd. You got to remember at this pool party, there's a lot of younger folks, right? So if that's the case, I would say the day after the scout, when we finalize our schedule, casting is securing all of these other 30 extras that we have to get. Costumes department now has to dress all these extras. And so costumes probably has to update their vendors.
And this looks like already that they're probably hanging a silk over some people to make them look soft. So now all of a sudden you need big G&E tools.
Oh yeah, condors, fly swatter, the whole nine. So now your G&E, your camera, every department is going to need to adjust their vendor list for the second day of shooting. Remember back when we were saying that our key department heads are now getting all the lower level people, right? Art department has their team, costumes and makeup has their assistants. So now they have to update this because if now you have double the amount of extras, costumes is going to need another hand. We're having our production meeting this first day of the second week, which means that we are talking about the safety issues, meaning that we're working around a body of water.
Yeah.
Right? If anything electrical goes into that water, it's going to be a huge insurance claim. And if there's people jumping in and out of the pool, it's a slippery thing.
It's a stunt, technically.
Technically, it's a stunt. You want to make sure wardrobes or production has a bunch of towels or robes for the people that are in the water when they get out. They're going to not want to stay cold the whole time.
And the director's just like, oh, come on, this is a pool scene. We'll go to my friend's house. We'll shoot it in this pool. It'll be totally chill, dude.
First day of the second week, we're adjusting our permit, right? We're amending that permit to add a second location on that.
Right on shoot. We're going in.
Probably the only last thing is the director is doing more rehearsals with the actors.
Yeah.
The director adding the second location, I mean, when we're budgeted for it and we can pull it off, it's really just going back, breaking that down, adding it to the schedule, talking to all the department heads. Not too bad.
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
Now, in case you haven't noticed by now, we're using this awesome team management tool to produce our hypothetical short film, and that tool is called Monday.com. Now, while the film is actually hypothetical, in the indie world, Monday is a very real solution to keep even the most complicated shoots on track. There's a lot of people on a film production that one producer has to look over, and Monday.com makes it really easy to assign tasks, keeping tabs, makes scheduling really easy to organize thanks to its colorful design, and honestly, like endless integrations. Now, in particular, I like that you can actually add columns to show deadlines. I also like that you can see comments from your team members. So the next time that you're producing a project, keep Monday.com in mind to help you realize that film. Again, these tips will apply no matter what software you are using, but if you're asking what we are using here right now, this is it. And now, back to the episode. So apparently this is too easy. Here we go. Moving on. Third scene. Added on. Director's just changed his mind. He's turning this movie into a new movie. Let's see the scene. Let's go.
Let's go. Adding another scene. Here we go.
This is a pretty iconic scene, I'd say, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so what are you seeing in here in terms of production logistics that you got to take care of?
This is obviously an overlook, right? This is an area that kind of overlooks the city. Like these places are sprinkled all around LA, but this is like either being shot at dusk or dawn.
You gotta pull permits for this stuff. Right?
You gotta pull permits for this.
Definitely. Yeah. There's no shooting at your friend's house.
That's very true.
You gotta lock down a street.
You gotta lock down
like a Mulholland Drive type street.
Yes.
Like a pretty popular street that a lot of people drive on.
Exactly. And I think a lot of, like, she's sitting on a bench that's probably already there. If not, that's art department making an extra pickup in their truck.
This is all a one take too.
There's a lot of choreography here, meaning that if you don't nail it, we're coming back to this.
That's definitely a techno crane, right?
That's a techno.
Crazy camera moves. Yep.
A lot of crazy camera moves that have to be precise.
Extremely wide lighting.
Oh my god! And there's
you got to pre-light this sucker.
There's even a street lamp there, so that's part of art department, right? Still don't have that.
I love this theoretical director.
Yeah,
he's awesome. He's freaking sweet, man.
Hey, I know you just read the script and broke it down, but I have another scene.
It's really small. It's just one small dance number.
That's okay.
If you still only have 2 weeks, again, we're not saying this was done in 2 weeks. It was definitely not done in 2 weeks. But if you had to kind of make these adjustments, how does it actually look in the production timeline?
Very first thing on day one, as I'm breaking down the script, they better be rehearsing this stuff with a choreographer, nailing these numbers down, because this was all one take at a specific time of the day. Every little mess up, we're gonna have to retake it. I'm gonna try and find a house in Hollywood where we film that pool scene that is close to the Mulholland Drive overlook. And I'm gonna tell our director and our DP, let's make this work. In the indie world, we can technically shoot this night scene after we do our big pool party scene. So let's say the pool party scene, we shot that in the first 6 hours of the day, we took our lunch, and now we're doing like kind of a small company move. I would propose that to our DP and our director, or else we just add a third day. But if we were to add a third day of filming, we're getting up to this spot and we're waiting all day for the sun to set. We should probably soft hold our techno crane guys. Like if there was a techno crane on this video, then that means our DP should soft hold the techno crane 2 weeks out. In our scout, we now have to go to this third location, which is this overlook. Same thing, copy and paste. We have our main production trucks there, and then everyone is still getting shuttled. So it's probably gonna be a thing where we need a parking lot again. We need a couple of passenger vans. There's no restrooms up here. We need to hit up a couple of Andy Gumps, and we get some portal potties up there. I would say we should probably get a production trailer that has like a makeup station attached to it. With this scene, we're only really filming in one, towards the direction of the overlook.
Everyone can kind of just be staged right behind the camera.
Shooting at this location, if you do shoot the other way, the sun is setting a little nicer. The magic hour's painting the clouds.
And suddenly the DP's like, let's flip this way.
Let's flip this way. And then it's a huge logistical nightmare. But as a good producer, it's like, Good thing we staged everything not only behind camera, but a little to the left. I would say if you're permitting for this place, you're probably going to need off-duty police officers, maybe some barricades to block the street, because this looks like a street here.
This is
This
is a public street.
It's a public street, so you're going to need to barricade it, get off-duty police officers that are in alignment with your permit, making sure that your permit notes this. For this scene, we're probably going to need to bring a huge generator, right? This is a nighttime shot with like overhead lighting, probably on Condor. So we're probably bringing a generator. If you're gonna need a large like tow plant generator, like a generator that attaches to a tow lift that you have to bring to set, that's gonna trigger a fire marshal. And this is something I've learned with experience in producing, that you're gonna need a like 400, 500 gallon water truck fitted for motion picture in terms of PSI. You've logistically added like a lot more money. You have to pay all this crew now. Fire marshal, off-duty police officers, water truck. It's crazy.
I spent all this time making fun of this director. Now I feel bad for him. He just wanted a shot of a guy in a button-up and a girl in a yellow dress dancing on a mountain. And now all of a sudden, he's paying out the wazoo for it. Not easy. And the possibility of not even getting it the first day.
Exactly. You might not get it the first day, so you got to do it again. And so all of this stuff is in the back of my mind when we're location scouting this. Having the experience producing, like I kind of know what these things entail. So as the DP, the gaffer requesting this stuff, in my mind, I'm already thinking budget-wise, we're seeing the numbers go up and up and up and up. But it's, you have to keep your cool and keep that in the back of your mind. Here's a note for the indie guys out there, for the indie filmmakers out there. If you call these vendors, they're gonna assume you're a big studio when you're calling to reserve. Yeah. So if you specifically tell them, hey, I'm a little guy, I'm an independent, they're like, oh yeah, let's give you the indie rate.
Alrighty, so directors out there, a little ambitious, but this is basically what it would look like, generally speaking, to kind of pull together a project like this step by step. And now that you know how to produce a film, now you have no excuse to enter Aperture's Light This Location, where we're giving away something like $200,000 in cinema gear, including a new red 8K helium camera. The rules are super simple. It's just one film, one location. Show us how you let it. In fact, in this video, Moses produced all these videos with a 2-week timeline, but guess what? You have 3 weeks. The competition doesn't end for another 3 weeks. You can still enter. You got plenty of time, so literally no excuse for you guys out there. Moses, if people have questions, how do they reach out to you?
Moses_Israel or at Bandwidth Brothers, both on Instagram. You can check me out there. Feel free to reach out just with questions, comments, concerns. Yeah, this is pretty awesome. This is really good. This is really good.
It's good to see you, Moses. Thanks so much for watching. Of course, Indie Mogul. We'll catch you guys next time.
Side note here, if you're shooting at your mom's house, a friend's house, somewhere where someone's doing you a favor and you're using their restrooms, bring toiletry supplies like toilet paper, disinfectant spray, or some like air freshener. There's nothing worse than like going and like telling the person that's doing you a favor, like, hey, you're out of toilet paper. And they're like, well, why didn't you bring any? So I'm telling you, this is stuff people forget.